So we did a master plan. We brought in, I think, Yakir Gabay, who's one of the most successful real estate developers and brilliant people I know. He's volunteered to do this, not for profit, really because of his heart. He wants to do this. And we've developed ways to redevelop Gaza. Gaza, as President Trump's been saying, has amazing potential.
You know, this is a great location. It all begins, see, I'm a real estate person at heart. And it's all about location. And I said, look at this location on the sea. Look at this beautiful piece of property, what it could be for so many people.
These people make me sick. And if they don't make you sick, I don't know what's wrong with you. There's literally something wrong with you. But there's Jared Kushner and the president, Donald Trump, salivating over blood-soaked land where Israel carried out a genocide in Gaza, of course. And so despite never being elected for anything, and despite the fact that he's not an official member of the Trump White House, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, presented the White House's grand plan for rebuilding Gaza from scratch. Now, let's just pause and acknowledge, in order to build Gaza from scratch, that would mean that there's nothing left there to repair, right? It's been leveled. So the area, the region where a genocide definitely didn't happen at the hands of the Israelis has been totally leveled, totally leveled. So they got to rebuild it from scratch. Okay, so it's going to include data centers. Interesting, okay, coastal tourism and a lot of private sector investment. So Trump has made it abundantly clear that he views this whole undertaking as another one of his real estate projects. And before we get to those details, I just want you to pay very close attention to the fact that we're talking about an enclave, Gaza, where over 2 million Palestinians were living. At the current moment, I don't know how many Palestinians remain alive because Israel has yet to allow journalists into the Gaza Strip. And on Wednesday of this week, Israel decided to slaughter 3 additional Palestinian journalists out of the Gaza Strip. So while they want us to believe that the death toll is actually lower than the 70 to 80,000 that have been officially reported as dead, the reality is the death toll is probably much, much higher. Now, let's get to some of the details here. The plan Kushner laid out would cost $25 billion, and the whole point is to create a so-called economic hub by the year 2035. So here he is laying out his vision.
In the beginning, we were toying with the idea of saying, let's build a free zone and then we have a Hamas zone. And then we said, you know what, let's just plan for catastrophic success. Hamas signed a deal to demilitarize. That is what we are going to enforce. Rafah will start with. This will show a lot of workforce housing. We think this could be done in 2-3 years. We've already started removing the rubble and doing some of the demolition. And then New Gaza. It could be a hope. It could be a destination, have a lot of industry, and really be a place that the people there can thrive, have great employment. Once this starts going, we think there should be 100% full employment and opportunity for everybody there. And we have a lot of data on what can be, but we think that this really gives the Gazan people an opportunity to live their aspirations. But it all starts with security and it all starts with governance.
If you can remember, he had initially, this is a few months back, he had initially said, oh, we're only gonna redevelop Gaza in the area that's currently occupied by the Israelis, right? So the yellow line, which is over 50% of the Gaza Strip, which is occupied by the Israelis. We're only gonna focus on rebuilding that, but since Hamas hasn't demilitarized yet, we're not gonna rebuild the part that isn't occupied by the Israelis. Now that whole idea he threw out the window, and his whole idea now is, no, we're gonna rebuild the entire Gaza Strip. Now, is it for the Palestinians? No. No, this isn't about the Palestinians. And as you learn more and more about the details, you'll get what I mean, okay? So as you saw there in the video we just showed you, Kushner tried pretty hard to make this endeavor kind of sound like, he's doing a favor for the Palestinians. The White House claims that the plan will raise Gaza's GDP to more than $10 billion, increase average annual household income to over $13,000, and allocate $1.5 billion for vocational training programs. However, they did not address key issues such as property rights or compensation for Palestinians who lost their homes, businesses, and livelihoods during what Reuters refers to as a war, what I refer to, and what many genocide scholars refer to as a genocide. And that includes B'Tselem, by the way, an Israeli organization. Nor did they address where displaced Palestinians might live during the rebuilding. Well, they're going to be ethnically cleansed from the Gaza Strip, or maybe placed in a concentration camp and forgotten about. That's the plan. Like, let's not play games here. Let's just call a spade a spade. I'm not gonna do this cutesy thing that media outlets are doing where they're pretending as though they don't know what's gonna happen with the Palestinians. And it's obvious that this is also being treated as a massive investment opportunity for the private sector. So why don't we take a look? So you can see in the White House's master plan slide that the whole purple region along the coast is designated for coastal tourism and includes 180 mixed use towers, which I'm pretty sure exist in hell. Now they also designated an area specifically for industrial complexes and data centers. That's shaded in brown. So doing a big solid favor for the tech bros, right? Who are very concerned about where they're gonna place AI data centers. Hey, why don't we take advantage of this blood-soaked land? So that's gonna happen.
All right, it's time for New Year's resolutions. We all make them, but I'm not making any big flashy resolutions that are gonna crash and burn by February. My reset is much simpler. It's about giving myself a break in the kitchen. Not by eating less, don't be crazy. But let's be honest, thinking about what to eat, shopping for it, cooking it, it's a drain. And when you're drained from cooking, you can't focus on the work that matters, and that's the work right here. That's where Cook Unity comes in. It's been my way of cheating. Like I have a personal chef. I'm very fancy that way, please. But without the insane cost. Restaurant quality meals on my schedule. So I ordered a bunch of things that I loved. So we got the pepperoni naan pizza. I love pepperoni pizza, I love naan. You put it together, it's genius. Golden chicken schnitzel. It's schnitzel, but it's golden. Okay, this stuff is all so good. New Orleans shrimp and grits. They have sausage in there too, love it. And that's my point, guys. These aren't boring and repetitive meals. These are all-star chefs, Food Network alum, and James Beard winners. Handpicking seasonal ingredients and balancing bold flavors with nutrition. Every meal is a small batch masterpiece delivered fresh, never frozen. It makes hitting wellness goals effortless because a nutritious, incredible meal is ready in minutes. No shopping, no cooking, no cleanup. You can browse by chef, by cuisine, filter macros to the gram, not a thing I would do, but you could. And it's way less than takeout or even grocery store prices. Plus their packaging is part of a reusable, eco-friendly program. You can't ask for more. Taste comfort and craftsmanship in every bite from the award-winning chefs behind Cook Unity. Go to cookunity.com/TYT or enter code TYT before checkout to get 50% off your first order. That's 50% off your first order by using code TYT or going to cookunity.com/TYT.
It's still unclear exactly who is gonna provide the billions of dollars that the Trump administration's extensive plans would require, obviously. But at the end of his speech, Jared Kushner, interestingly enough, made a point to solicit for private investment. Let's take a look at that.
A lot of you have been asking how can we help? So the countries have all been incredibly generous. We'll be doing the first conference where we'll announce a lot of the contributions that will be made in a couple weeks in Washington. From the private sector, there'll be amazing investment opportunities. I know it's a little risky to be investing in a place like this, but we need you to come, take faith, invest in the people, try to be a part of it.
Now, while the White House appears to be gung-ho about this project, they are still demanding full disarmament of Hamas before moving forward, which, as we all know, the group has not agreed to. Besides which, the 20-point peace deal that Trump likes to tout isn't really specific about what demilitarizing Hamas looks like. What does that even mean? How do you determine when Hamas has been effectively demilitarized? The Israelis don't really detail that either because the details don't matter. It isn't really about demilitarizing anyone. It's just about snatching that land after killing and displacing enough people, Palestinians in particular. And here was Trump's threat to Hamas during the signing of the Board of Peace Charter.
We have 59 countries that are involved in peace in the Middle East, and many have said that if Hamas doesn't do what they promised they would do, and I think they probably will, but they were born with rifles in their hands. They were literally born. The first day they had a rifle put into their hands, but they have to give up their weapons, and if they don't do that, it's going to be the end of them.
Israel has killed and slaughtered far more Palestinians than Palestinians have slaughtered of innocent Israelis. Let's just call that reality out. So if you're gonna say that Palestinians are born with guns and firearms and weapons in their hands, what does that say of the Israelis, considering they're responsible for a lot more slaughter of innocents, especially children, And by the way, I wouldn't really trust Donald Trump of all people as the arbiter of morality. Okay, he's probably at the top of the list when it comes to scum of the earth, violent goons and absolute losers who feel the need to point their fingers at others and claim that they're violent. The guy who likes to refer to other people as unintelligent when he gives rambling speeches that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And let me just give you one more detail about this master plan and the people involved with this plan. Because the White House enlisted the help of an Israeli real estate developer by the name of Yaker Gabe to make these plans for Gaza. And I'm sure this Israeli is very concerned about building a beautiful enclave where the Palestinian people will live good lives, right? Right, okay. Now he is worth $4 billion. He splits his time between Israel, Miami, London, and Cyprus, and has maintained close ties with Jared Kushner for more than a decade. In November of 2023, 1 month after October 7th, he joined other business people from Europe and Arab states to present a day after plan for Gaza to officials at the White House. But he claims, I'm not looking to benefit from this. There's nothing in it for me. He's just volunteering his time, and his energy. That's all this is about. He's just real concerned about the Palestinian people. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. So that's where we are with Kushner, again, an unelected, unofficial member of Trump's administration, essentially plotting what he plans to do with land that will be stolen from a people who have just been genocided by Israel and continue to deal with Israel's violence and greed. That's the story.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.